Getting the smile and confidence you've been dreaming about, all from the comfort of your home, isn't a total mystery with Byte clear aligners. Just don't be surprised if all your friends start asking, what's your secret? Begin by ordering your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95. Byte clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces, plus they offer flexible financing, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Hey guys, and welcome to Criminality Podcast, the podcast where we know loving reality TV and all of its twisted individuals is not a crime. Rebekah, so good to see you.
I know. We're back, baby.
We're back, baby. We've been gone for, just the month of August. Nope. July.
Yep. We're now in August.
July.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dog days of summer are here. We needed the break.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Right?
In the nicest way.
Yeah.
It's just you need to feel refreshed.
And it's like coming back to something you love after a little time away and you're just so excited. That's how I feel right now.
Oh, I'm so glad. And I always love talking to you. So this is very much something I look forward to, even if I have to research a family that I cannot stop disliking. The more I watch, the more I dislike. So this isn't even like a hate watch, love-hate thing. This is like a hate.
Oh.
I think I really hate them.
Oh. Well, that
not all of them.
Makes me even more intrigued for today's episode. But before that,
yes.
Well, I guess I was just going to say that. I'm like, now it sounds like a big deal. Well, we had a little fun. I mean, we did a couple fun things. Well, by fun, we did stuff that we were supposed to do, like update our website.
That's you. Good job. Way to go, Rebekah.
Well, sure. It was very easy. Just something I don't do. And then you put all our episodes on YouTube.
I did. I pressed a button.
Yep.
And then 3 days later, I pressed another button.
Oh, is that what it was?
I'm done.
Okay. Well, it's not our faces, people. Don't get excited. But the audio is there if you like listening on YouTube. And we also have a fun little update. It's just, we're 3 years in, I guess, to the podcast.
That's crazy.
3 years plus, like 3.5 years, actually.
Wow.
And sometimes I get a little restless with logos and I get antsy about them, and I got that feeling. So we did a little logo refresh, and we hope you guys like it.
Rebekah created something very cool, and it should take away a lot of the questions that we receive, which is criminality.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that?
It's like if you know, you know, but if you don't, you really don't. And we're not trying to be exclusive, actually. Like, we want people in the fold,
right?
But we need them to come and understand what they're joining.
Yeah.
So we hope you like the new logo.
Yes.
And yeah, we're back. We hope everyone's having a great summer.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah. It's a brat summer, right?
I've learned all about that.
See, I don't know. I just know you say it's a brat summer if you're having a brat summer. And I don't know what that means.
There's a lot of bratness this summer, and I'm leaning in.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Mm-hmm. That's all I know. I know the little heart part of the dance. Oh, Kelly Ben-Simone. Have you seen the video of Kelly Ben-Simone doing that, like, apple falling?
No.
Okay, after we're done, you absolutely have to see it. And we have to post it on social media. Oh my gosh. To think that somebody did this not live. They had somebody stand there and record it, and the person said, you know what? You got it. Don't do it again. This is it. I would throw...
This makes perfect sense. Of everyone that you're, for her to do it, I can't wait. I can practically picture it.
Just like imagine the song in your head. Now imagine her 2 to 3 beats behind it. And like more robotic than I am. Like if I...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, you didn't have to be so excited about that. But it's true. It's wild. And it's stuck with me for a few weeks now. So, it's bad.
Well, I mean, she made a big life decision the last time she was in the news, which wasn't that long ago,
Yes.
just like not getting married 2 days before her wedding. So who knows
Yeah.
what the aftermath of that looks like?
That was like a prenup thing, right? The guy wouldn't sign a prenup and she's like,
Oh, is
way
that
rich
true?
now.
I didn't know that.
I think so. So, I mean, she can dance like an idiot, but she has more money than I'll
Yeah.
ever see.
But how did they not work that out prior to
I don't
2 days
know.
before the wedding?
That is a good question. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe she had just been given so many jelly beans, her brain had become jelly beans, and then she was,
It's possible.
she was starving for the dress. What am I trying to say? Saying yes? Nope, doesn't matter. Rebekah, we are rusty. I am rusty. We did not give clues for the last episode, but
Yes.
yes. But I will say our friend with Little Miss Recap, Amy Archer, actually asked us to join her for something, and it happened to be the story I was doing this week. So,
That's right.
Rebekah, we're going to TLC, or the Learning Channel, as they like to forget they were once called. If nothing, TLC is a powerhouse of great TV with good people, and they make great decisions. Like, or even, as you can see, it's really
That was amazing, Melissa.
only the best with TLC.
That was really good.
Good. But back in November of 2019, TLC needed to add something to their lineup that could take the place of those darn Duggars. And that's when we were introduced to the Plaths, a family from Cairo, Georgia, with the mom Kim and dad Barry, as well as their 9 kids.
Whoa, I didn't know there were that many.
They are, and all of them are like way blonde, and they all look like they could be in Midsommar, and it creeps me out.
Yeah.
In a nice way. So at the at the start of the show, there's Ethan. He's 21. Hosanna, who's 20, but she pulled the old Amy Osborne card and never allowed her face to be shown on this TV show. She got married and she was off, so she's never a part of the show. But good for her. And I still don't know what Amy Osborne looks like. I just know that she's an Osborne, right?
That she exists.
Smart.
Yeah.
And then there's also 18-year-old Micah, 17-year-old Mariah, or Moriah, as I say in my head, because it's spelled Moriah.
Of course it is.
No reason. 15-year-old Lydia, who is my favorite in the best way. 14-year-old Isaac, 10-year-old Amber, 8-year-old Cassia, and 6-year-old Mercy.
So the names don't follow a pattern
At
like
all.
we're used to in large families, which is interesting. I respect that choice.
Yeah, there's no J's like the
Yeah.
Duggars.
They're not all super biblical or something
Yeah,
either.
it kind of goes back and forth. Actually, I wonder if they are, because I'm looking at the names now. I bet they are.
Oh.
And
Actually-
that's probably why Moriah is spelled that way.
That actually, you're right. It's Mariah, but from the Bible. Isaac, yes. Lydia, yes.
Isaac,
Mercy, I mean,
Amber.
as a theme.
Hosanna.
Amber, I don't think Amber.
Amber's the color of her energy. Whoa. Okay. Rebekah, do you have any relationship with the Plaths? Do you know them? Do you love them? What do you know about them?
So little, but I remember at CrimeCon that year we went, someone engaging with our table was like, have you covered the Plaths? And I said, no, we actually haven't, but I only knew them by name at that point. Like, I'd seen things about them or for them. And then when I knew you were doing this story, a couple times when I was looking for something to watch, I did stop when I saw Welcome to Plathville was on, because I wanted to just have a visual.
Absolutely.
And for me, it's a no for me, dog.
I was going to say, is it a no for you, dog?
Yeah, it was like watching paint dry. The only reason I could keep watching was because the 2 girls who were in the scene I watched, their profiles were so beautiful. I feel like I'm getting to the age where I'm losing my jawline, and they had beautiful profiles and jawlines, and I just sat there just thinking not great things about them that aren't their fault. So I'm very excited.
Yeah.
To learn.
The older I get, the more I understand, like Ursula stealing Ariel's toys, Mother Gothel.
Oh God, my kingdom for a jawline, I swear.
Exactly. Rebekah, now you did say that you have seen parts of the show, which I was not expecting. Would you like to see their official introduction? I'm not sure if you've seen this.
I haven't. It was always in the middle of an episode. I'd love to see the beginning.
Perfect.
We're the Plath family.
We're 11 people in the family, mom, dad, and 9 children, ranging in age from 6 to 21.
Ethan is our oldest, and he just got married to Olivia.
What's it like to live with me?
The best 6 months of my life.
And then there's Mariah.
Hey.
Mariah can be opinionated.
Nothing against my parents, but, I don't agree with everything they say and think.
We live on a 55-acre farm in a rural part of South Georgia.
Cassie.
Careful, push together.
We've structured our lifestyle here so that we can retreat to our piece of heaven on earth.
We have limited technology. We have limited computers. They don't play video games.
We've never had any carbonated sodas around. They know what a Coke is, but they don't know what a Coke is. Can you believe that? That is so off the wall.
This is my first Coke. It's really good. It's my first time going to the gym.
This is your first time ever having cotton candy. I'm addicted.
I've grown up without a TV. I don't think I need one.
I love soccer and football and basketball.
Do you know who Tom Brady is?
I don't think so. I have heard of Spider-Man.
Who is Spider-Man?
Something that I don't know.
They have time just to be children.
We love living on the farm.
Now that Ethan's married, there are certain things that just have changed the dynamics of the family.
I grew up a different way, I have a different outlook on life, and so I come into the picture and I bring in change, and it's caused a hurricane.
Well, I don't think it's your job to parent our children.
I would love for this relationship to be fixed, but that does not equal me changing as a person.
Where a house is divided against itself, it will fall. And that's happening.
Oh, okay. So Olivia was in the scene. She's one of the profiles I was...
Yes. Oh, a Lydia profile is
Coveting.
what you were coveting?
Not Lydia, Olivia.
Oh, Olivia. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yeah. I didn't... Okay, so she's married to one of them.
Yes, she
or
is married
was.
to Ethan, yeah. Or was. We'll find out.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. So you hear in this scene that Isaac says he loves football, but doesn't know who Tom Brady is.
Yeah, bless him.
Lydia, sweet Lydia, says she's heard of Spider-Man, but doesn't know him. And good old Ethan tries his first Coke as an adult, and it's recorded in a way that makes him look like he's a monkey in a Werner Herzog documentary.
It's as
uncomfortable.
cinematic a moment. I mean,
True. Oh my gosh. And what did you think of Barry and his, can you believe it?
creeps me out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not a fan. He is like big 80s sitcom dad energy.
But like unlikable. Like the, not the bully, but like the nerd at the school in an 80s movie. Like you find out that's his dad and you're like, oh, tracks. And then there's a laugh track.
Yeah. And he's an inventor, I feel like.
Yeah, he is. Oh, maybe like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something. Actually, no, that's really to him.
That guy was actually a little more likable, but
Very.
I did get that vibe.
Ugh, cannot stand that man. But back to the family as a whole. That first season, there does seem like there's going to be some drama, but really, how much can there be? Well, thanks to Barry and Kim primarily, there will be tons. So at the time of this first episode, Barry's 54. He works as a transportation planner, I think in Tallahassee, which is about 45 minutes away from Cairo, which is where their house is at the time. So,
Question?
Yeah.
To be clear, it's Cairo, not Cairo.
It's not Cairo. It's Cairo.
Okay.
It's Georgia.
Just wondering.
Okay. My best friend Sarah lives in Cairo. So
cool.
I outed her there. But some of my favorite people are there. So I'll give it that. At the time, Kim is 50 and she's homeschooling all these children, including teaching them to play instruments. She actually went to college and studied music. And so like she actually does have a background in teaching that. But it's very... As the homeschooling goes on, as someone who has homeschooled some, it's getting real loosey-goosey at the point we are right now.
Yeah.
Very loosey-goosey. And did I mention the Plaths were musical? I didn't? Oh, that's because they can't make it a single episode without playing or singing or making some other noise that generally falls into the music category. That's the most painful part for me.
Together, all of them?
They had a family band.
Of course.
Yeah. So speaking of music, they did have their own version of the Dr. Funke's 100% Natural Good Time Family Band solution. Do you remember that from Arrested Development?
No.
Did you watch Arrested Development?
I did, but never like straight through every episode and season. So I don't remember that.
Tobias and his family had a family band, and it was called Dr. Funke's 100% Natural Good Time Family Band Solution. And it was like a happy pill that you would take is what they were promoting. So anyway, that doesn't matter. So they take their show on the road, their Plath family band, and they play gospel and bluegrass music at concert halls, churches, and senior centers around the U.S. I don't know who asked for it, but they did it.
They don't put up much of a fight. It's a good audience.
True. So I think the dad was in a nursing home. Kim started bringing the kids around to sing at it. And then I guess they were like, great, let's keep doing this to everyone. We literally have a captive audience, like you were saying. So when the family finally decided to hang up their touring shoes, they settled on their farm in Cairo, Georgia. And as you can tell from that clip, they're all about living life outdoors, mostly without shoes, which to me is like in the top 3 most offensive things this family does. Honestly, Rebekah, anytime the camera pans down, they have their hogs out. I cannot take
Inside,
it.
outside, everywhere.
Oh yeah. I'll show you a clip in a few minutes. And 2 people are wearing shoes out of like 11 for no reason. There's no reason. So I'm very upset about this. But apart from church and their like family band, they're extremely isolated. There's no TV, limited technology, and worst of all, no sugar. When Kim does discuss with Mariah a little about how she actually grew up, the super strictness that they have incorporated in their family makes a little more sense. So here's a quote from Kim's conversation with Mariah. She said, quote, "I grew up with a single alcoholic mother. I didn't have a family. I didn't have a home life. I didn't have a dad." Side note, she like later connected with him. "I had a mom when she was there and she was sober, but for the most part, I raised myself. I've tried really hard to make sure you have a family to grow up in." And that was kind of her response to why they were so strict. And while Kim mentioned her mom had problems with alcohol, she also got into some trouble with alcohol when she was younger. In April of 91, she receives a citation for possession of an open container. Basically, somebody else was driving. She had alcohol out. She got a citation. So she kind of points to this as like a reason she doesn't think her kids need higher education, like college. At the beginning of the series, she's like not for it at all. Like they don't want their kids to go to college. Not like, oh, you could do a trade, but like you don't need it. There's only bad things. Almost like the kids will never grow up. Like you're eventually going to be around these things, but it's almost like they think if they take college out of the way, they'll never be exposed to things. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. So it's a weird leap from wanting to protect them from certain things to like the sugar restriction is interesting too. I guess, is it like addiction fear just in general?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. They just didn't. I feel like it's a control thing, honestly. The further we go with Kim, I definitely think it's a control thing. So in season 1, Ethan's married to Olivia. And like you said, jawline Olivia. And Olivia grew up in a similar way, but it wasn't quite as strict as Ethan's family. So I think they met at church camp. I could be wrong. And so at this point, when we meet them, Ethan's obviously not living with his family. He's living with Olivia. And he's starting to realize that his life was really sheltered and maybe it didn't need to be. So it's like, they show clips of him like going into a store where Olivia's looking at bras and he's, tee-hee-hee. Like it is all very,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward. So he and Olivia are talking about, new adventures they want to take together. And Mariah, so she's 15, I think, at this point. She's starting to rebel against her parents. So you might have seen her. She was wearing a little bit of makeup. Her dad called her opinionated.
Oh,
I knew you'd catch
that. Yeah, that scared me when they were like, we would say opinionated, like that's so negative. And then they go to her and her quote is like, sometimes I disagree with my parents. No disrespect. I'm like, dude, that's like the most respectful opinionated.
I know. She actually, I find her to be very, I don't want to use the word simple, but I'm going to say simple, but she very much is very kind to her parents. And I feel like she's very forgiving in ways she doesn't need to be. Aww. Yeah. So she's like, wears a lot of makeup, dresses different than her brothers and sisters. It looks like they're from two different worlds when you see them all together.
Interesting.
So Kim, though, really starts to blame, so that's Mama Plath. She starts blaming Olivia for these changes because, you know, Olivia and Ethan have moved out, so Mariah will come visit them and sees that, you know, there is this whole other world. She thinks Olivia is trying to actually put a wedge in between their family. So keep in mind, Olivia's like 20, and, you know, I doubt she has that control over their kids, but Kim's like, always meddling, and eventually it puts a strain on her relationship with Ethan because of it. Because Ethan's like, this is my wife.
Back off.
Yeah. And so that becomes like a conflict literally the entire series. And stupid Barry, dumbneck Barry, just listens to Kim and goes along with whatever she says. So season 1 ends with Barry and Kim taking a trip for their anniversary, leaving 2 of the older kids to watch the younger ones. And by the way, Olivia and Ethan aren't even allowed to come over when they're gone. Like Kim wants to monitor at this point their interaction with their siblings.
Oh my goodness.
It's gross. So let's move to season 2. Micah, the second oldest son, is looking to become a model, and honestly, he's modeling. What's it called? Like they have a face. His face is cashing. I don't know. His body be banging. And I can say that now because he's like in his 20s. I'm not talking about younger him. I'm talking about him as an adult.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, but he like actually did some modeling. And Lydia has a secret crush. And that's about all Lydia brings to the table. And it's like the most innocent crush. Like, I have a secret friend. And the friend and I, we talk sometimes. And
oh my gosh.
That kind of thing where you're like, Lydia, please go visit Olivia. Please.
Yeah. Please bring a Coke while you're at it.
I know. Maybe that's what she needs is caffeine. So at this time, Ethan and Olivia actually have decided to cut ties with Kim and Barry. So they're cutting ties. The married couple is cutting ties with the parents. And of course, Kim and Barry think Olivia is behind this, which I'm sure she is somewhat behind this. Like, let's be honest. But the two of them were focused on the relationship. And obviously, Kim basically treating her like a harlot, which is basically what she was saying.
Feels like, and also just like the blame on her. It's so, ugh.
Yeah, she's also opinionated. And don't worry, I will show you some of that meddling here soon. So,
oh, good.
Another note in this season is that Micah and Mariah have moved out. So Mariah is 17 at this point. And So after the first season, the family Plaths move off that farm to another house in Cairo. I guess Micah is told he has to move out. So he moves out. And then Mariah basically says, I moved / got kicked out. And she's 17.
This feels like the Browns, like the older kids that start like choosing to leave prematurely. I don't know.
Yeah. Can I tell you what my next line is? This all gives Cody Brown to me. Once the kids are old enough to realize they've been controlled, they want to go.
They want to get out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Ethan sees this as well, and he and Olivia make this decision to keep distance between himself and his parents because they're also talking crap about Olivia to other people, which,
oh my gosh.
This is like literally small town stuff. So this is not, you don't want people doing this. So here's what some people have considered the greatest piece of cinematic history. Not really, but this is a scene that shows Kim and Barry's true colors and shows Ethan sticking up for his wife, which unfortunately is very short-lived. Also, this scene will make you think that Ethan is Lydia's crush. Okay.
I can't let you guys come to the car.
This is my property. I can walk on my property if I want to.
Mom, you're just making things worse.
Look at me.
Just making
Look at
things
me.
Worse.
That is my wife. in
These
that
are my
car,
children.
and these are my siblings.
Why can't we just get together? I won't say a word. We can just...
What's the big deal?
Over there, smile at her,
exactly, what's the big
say
deal?
hi.
Because you don't understand the things you've said, how they've made her feel.
The things she has said have hurt me too. So I'm willing to tolerate her presence if she can tolerate mine.
No, I told you how it's going to be. I would like me and Olivia say goodbye to the siblings. I would like to get a picture with them, and
Can I take the picture?
No.
Barry.
So, have Olivia come over here. Come on, just have her come on over here.
We don't bite, I promise.
Mommy, you're just making things worse.
If it's going to be a big deal over Olivia saying goodbye to the siblings with me, then I guess we'll probably see them all when they're 18. But I feel like that's your call.
It's his call.
You're the neck that turns his head. And we all know that's how it's always been.
Have you ever had that moment when you're leaving the house and you wonder, did I lock the door? Or worse yet, you start spiraling and you imagine all the what ifs. I used to feel that way all the time, but it wasn't until a few years ago when I heard about a break-in just a few blocks away that I realized I needed to really step up my home security game. And now I can spiral about the what ifs on things that don't matter, like reality stars, instead of the what ifs of home security. We've had Simply Safe protecting our house for the last few years now, and it's a total game changer. With Simply Safe's Fast Protect monitoring, I know within 5 seconds if something's actually up, and the lifeguards can actually speak to intruders to stop them. That's faster than a reality TV star can throw a drink. One of the things I really love the most is you're not locked into some over-the-top 90-day fiancé level contract drama. Simply Safe is actually affordable as well, less than $1 a day with no hidden fees, so it's easy to love. It's no wonder they've been named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News & World Report for 5 years running. Whether you want to install it yourself, it really takes less than an hour, or have a professional handle it, Simply Safe is as easy as flipping channels between Chimp Crazy and The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So why wait for the drama to happen? Get Simply Safe and know your home is covered just like I did. Protect your home with 50% off a new Simply Safe system, plus a free indoor security camera when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/criminality. That's simplysafe.com/criminality. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Say something positive about each other. Make up.
Ethan, I love you. In spite of all the vitriol that is coming our way.
Well, you can just say you love him. You don't have to say in spite of all.
It is
just
very nice of you to say that you love me, but behind my back, when you talk about my wife to other people, it's not going to fly with me. So, it's unfortunate, I guess, that Olivia won't be seeing you guys.
Oh, let's go say hi to Olivia.
Dad?
What?
You are not going to walk over to my wife.
Guys,
you
look.
understand?
Look, just look.
Okay. No problem.
I love you.
I'll see you later. Bye.
Miss the moment.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Lydia.
I love you.
I love you too. I'll see you all later.
disturbing. There's a lot to unpack there, as we might say.
Yeah. Let's start. Where do you want to start unpacking?
Okay, lots of feet.
Okay.
So I understand.
So many feet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dad's useless.
Oh, that man enrages me.
Goofy smile. Like, it's like this lack of maturity that I can't stand that some men his age still have, where it's like, what do you think? And he's just got that goofy grin. Like, that's going to like diffuse or make the situation better. It's not, Barry.
No, that causes me to look for weapons nearby.
Oh, absolutely. So that whole scene was about them severing ties.
Right.
And the mom wanted everyone together go say goodbye to them. But the brother was like, you can't come. The kids can't.
Right.
And she wasn't allowing that. That was so disturbing and unhealthy.
Wasn't it just
to do in front of the kids?
I agree. And like, I do think he was coming from I feel like it could have been done differently, obviously.
Sure.
But I do think their whole like, you're on my property and the dad taking off.
Yeah. But then when Ethan like physically was like, you're not doing this.
Yeah. And then did you see Lydia's too long hug? I love you.
I didn't read it that way. I think he and Olivia are her connection to the outside world. And she just was like, oh,
Lydia doesn't want the outside world, Rebekah. I hate to tell you, she wants to be in her room all the time playing music.
I thought Lydia was the opinionated one.
Mariah is the opinionated one.
Oh, darn it. Oh my gosh. I thought that was Mariah.
I love you. And like,
okay, now I'm reading it different.
Yeah,
okay,
noted. Makes more sense, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
She's terrified of
Where
the
was
outside
Mariah
world.
in that?
Mariah and Micah are living up the road.
Oh, that's right. They moved already. Okay.
She's a child runaway.
That's a lot of people.
There are too many people to name. So, season 3.
The mom seems terrible.
The mom is terrible. And her saying, what about what she said to me and stuff? Like,
also, the dad said, I love you, but basically. I mean, he said in spite of the vitriol, but like that means but. Like he put an exception into loving his kid.
And the other kid, Isaac, heard that and said, you don't have to say that.
Yeah, it's really, I feel for these kids. This is not good.
No, it was, so gross. So now we're at season 3. Everyone still hates everyone.
Jeez.
Kim still won't let Ethan or Olivia see the kids without supervision, and which I find to be so insulting.
So has it been like 2 years or something?
It's been a couple of years, yeah.
Okay.
Lydia ends up getting a job at the place where Ethan works, so she can still see/hug him as much as she wants.
Oh boy.
She really is like, I'm so excited. Like it's just, I don't know why, like in my head I've created this entire thing where she's just like pining for him. In a not disgusting way. But kind of, I guess. All right, let me keep going. The only thing we ever really know about Ethan is that Ethan's job is car. If there's a car, he's working on it. He's painting it, he's racing it, or he's buying it. And this, as you would imagine, gets on Olivia's, his wife's, last nerve. If he's tired, races a car. In a good mood, paints his car. Mad at your wife, buy a car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like very, where you're like, you're not one person doing this. So one thing, though, in this season, you start to see that Kim is struggling a bit with how she's raised her kids. She admits she was kind of a wild child when she was younger. So it seems like she kind of is starting to see that maybe she swung too far in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But things come to a head. Everyone's still separated. When, oh my gosh, Mariah, who has literally, in all of her time on reality TV, only managed to put 4 songs on Spotify. Only 4. Lydia's got like 16 albums on there, but she has 4 songs. And she's having a concert. It's in Tallahassee. It's whatever. Well, Olivia is musical, of course, because she was also homeschooled, and also like that's just kind of what you do when you're homeschooled. And she's playing piano for Mariah's concert. So at this point, Mariah doesn't invite Kim because Ethan and Olivia aren't talking to Kim and Barry.
Yeah.
So she doesn't invite her. Well, it doesn't matter because Kim finds out about it and she shows up and like wants to be seen, like wants to make a big deal, which that's really the problem. So it causes Ethan to confront his mom at the concert. It's not like chaos, like Bravo chaos, but like it's not cute. So if you're like, wow, Melissa, snooze fest, I hear you. I'm the one that wrote this after all. But we will get into the juiciness of Plathville right after a word from this week's sponsors. Season 4, Kim is the worst. Micah moves to LA to model. Mariah is maybe in Tampa, can't remember. And Ethan and Olivia move to Tampa to put some space between themselves and the Plaths. And really, like, I understand that. Like, in an early marriage, the last thing, if you have people interfering at that level, like putting physical distance is probably a good idea.
Yep.
Here's another video. This is a super awkward video of Olivia standing her ground and Ethan wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Can I talk to Kim and Barry outside for a sec?
Sure.
When I heard the doorbell and realized who it was, there was a little bit of like, ooh, because I feel like she's here to say something bad.
We're rolling out of town.
I know, you're headed to Tampa.
We are, we're moving.
That's pretty good.
And I just wanted to stop by before we left. It's been a long time since I've seen you guys. Just wrapping up loose ends. And I just wanted to say, I feel like you meant to hurt me. I feel like you meant to ostracize me because you couldn't control me. But at the end of the day, I've worked through that. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. And I forgive you guys. That's where it stands right now. And even if I don't have a relationship with you, it's not because I'm angry at you. I've worked through that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
and we've forgiven you, and we're not
thank
bitter.
you. And we never did mean to hurt you. I mean,
I feel
I'm sorry if it was.
I feel differently,
taken that
but
way.
that's my feelings.
Yeah.
Leaving this with peace over all the drama. So
Yeah.
Good.
Crying like you did last time. That was so embarrassing.
Looking through the window, I can see that it's going pretty well. I can't believe this is actually happening. Like, I can't believe I see Olivia talking to my parents. She has never stepped foot on this property before.
you guys once told me if I made things right with you, I could see the kids again. Yeah. This is me making things right, and I'd like to say goodbye to the kids.
Sure.
I don't want to be watched like I'm a convict. I'd like to have a second alone with them. Won't say a word about you, I promise.
No, sure. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sounds good to me.
Would you let me hug you?
I'd prefer not to have a hug, but thank you.
That's okay, but let's have fun in Tampa.
Yeah, it's gonna be a different life, I guess.
You what?
It's gonna be a different life, I guess.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
So Tampa's a great city. St. Pete's awesome. The beaches are great. But yeah, you need time with the kids.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
I'll send them out.
We're gonna let you say goodbye
Thank
now.
you. Hug? No.
Hearing what she had to say, it was hard, but Olivia just wanted to be heard. And I mean, I know how important it is to have something to say and to want to be heard.
And hopefully we're moving in the right direction.
Olivia's doing the work.
She is. I would not have been brave enough to say any of that, but...
And to resist a hug, that's actually really hard.
I absolutely would have never made it that far. I would have been like, yeah, of course. You know, try it like...
Oh, yeah.
As like a peace offering or something, but she
Or just to make them feel better, just
appease them.
Alleviate the discomfort, you would just say yes. And I mean you by meaning a person. Like, that was really impressive, but this is really disturbing.
It is.
It's really sad.
It is. And she, to me, Olivia, again, is very young. So I feel like some of the things she says, I would not be able to say. And some of them I wouldn't necessarily agree with. I think therapists would agree with her, but I wouldn't be able to do it. But like, I loved when she was like, I don't want to be stood over while I look at the kids because
I'm not a convict.
Yeah. It's because it's so wild that they are like, you're adults. You've done nothing to harm these kids, but like, we need to watch and make sure you don't say anything about us. It's so wild.
I can't think of anything, I've only seen it that one time, that I disagreed with that she said. I think there were very strong boundaries, very therapized talk.
Yes.
But when the mom said, and we forgive you too, I'm like, what did this 20-year-old girl do to you?
I know.
Other than take your son, which I'm sure is like the biggest, offense.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not saying anything she said really was wrong, but like, I could not have said.
Oh, I could never. Maybe right now at this age, like, that's the one thing about getting older that I'm appreciating is that I do feel like I can speak my mind more. But even still, I don't know if I could have gone as hard and long as she did and not give in.
I would have absolutely broken down.
It's hard.
It is.
It's impressive.
Yeah. So at some point, they're gone. Kim decides to open a dance studio in Cairo. Like, I guess she loved dancing. Yeah. She called it Grady Central, which if you're like, Grady Central, Grady's the county. But what does that have to do with dance? Why not name it Kim Plath from Plathville's studio? That's what I would go with. Like, let's make this work. So it's so weird. So she's like homeschooling and she's doing this dance studio, which I have no problem with people homeschooling and doing other things. I do that with my son. I have to. But she seems to be spending all of her time there. And she loves to have those dogs out, and she's got her feet up on the bars all the time. It's just, why? And they're never clean. It's so upsetting. So, I know. By the time season 4 comes out, though, we find out that she and Barry are actually separating. Which,
what?
Yes. Which Barry was not in favor of, but Kim was absolutely behind it 100%. So Barry actually ends up breaking this 2-year conflict he has with Ethan to share this with him, that, you know, the two of them are separating. But if you're wondering why they separated, because at first I was they seem to be like two like-minded evil people together. This video may help you understand.
Why'd you take them out?
I didn't want him in the car when I was driving around.
You don't have to play them.
It was just really a spectacle. It's like, really?
A spectacle.
Yeah.
I wanted to listen to Meatloaf the other day because he was an amazing musician and songwriter. And Barry really, really had a problem with me listening to Meatloaf.
Why?
Because the name of the CD was Bat Out of Hell.
To see my wife purchase Out of Meatloaf, Out of Hell. And then it said in there, and back into hell again. I was just like, what in the world, Kim, are you doing? I mean, I'm like, what do you say to something like that?
He was a musical genius, and I don't love every song,
Yeah.
and I don't love the topics of every song, but he was a musical genius, and he did die this past few months ago.
The issue I have is the spirit behind it. It's just kind of, it's rebellious. It's just not the path I would want my girls on.
Your face is
we wouldn't have
moving a
lasted
lot.
5 minutes. I know, it's hard to form words after that. Rebellious spirit. If he had 5 minutes in a car with me, he'd be calling an exorcist.
It just is so, I grew up in the area, but I definitely grew up with people who thought like that. I remember going to a church camp. Well, I remember going to a church camp and the girl wanted to bring a Green Day CD. And
oh, not Green Day.
It was Green Day. And I thought Green Day was evil based on this conversation. They said, she was like, I can't go without it. Like, you have to let me sleep with it under my cassette, under my pillow, or I will not go to this camp. So there's like a whole big discussion. And I'm like, the devil must be on that cassette, of course. And then as an adult being like, Green Day? Like,
yeah, I know.
We were all killing ourselves over this.
That was real, that fear in the 80s. And
But Barry is just a lot, and his facial expressions are the worst.
Yeah. The clip was called Something with Meatloaf, and I, given context clues, really thought it was going to be about a dinner that she made. Did not see Bat Out of Hell coming.
No, I was excited to name it that. Back to the separation. Lydia, devastated. But the older kids kind of think it stinks, but it makes sense. And of course, the younger ones are struggling. And Lydia basically is just taking care of the house and is Barry's new wife. It's like a weird flowers in the attic situation, but with a daughter and a dad. It's not. I have to stop this.
You're writing like fan fiction with Lydia.
Really am. Poor Lydia. I think she's probably a nice person. I'd never be friends with her. I am friends with her on Facebook, actually, because we have a lot of mutual friends and I wanted to see more about the family, but that's it.
That's crazy. The little siblings are worried about her. Even they were like, please don't cry like last time.
Don't embarrass us.
She was like 6. And she's like, keep it together, Lydia.
Exactly.
Third eldest.
Lydia's got a secret friend.
Gosh.
Okay. And so while there seems to still be this overall distrust of Lydia, if you're like, why does Kim actually hate Olivia so much? Well, let's discuss. So, there's actually a little backstory that doesn't come into the show fully. So I see like a TikTok breakdown, but they do go over some of this. You're going to love this. Olivia and Ethan are newlyweds, and Olivia's doing what any young, innocent new bride trying to save a few bucks is doing. She sees this credit card statement. It's like, what is this? He's like, not really sure. And you're looking at it and saying, well, someone's using your card. If you don't know what this is for, someone's using it. Let's figure it out. Rebekah, do the words Young Living mean anything to you?
Yeah. Essential oils.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Doesn't Kim Plath seem like an essential oils girly?
Oh, wait, Kim Plath?
Mm-hmm.
But why would Ethan's card be?
That is a good question. Would you like
Did
to
he
find
sign
out?
up under her team or something?
Rebekah, you will solve this mystery. What would you say are the things you need if you're in an MLM? What do you need? You have your stuff that you're selling, but what else do you need as
you
part of
need
your
a downline. You need a team.
You need a downline. Good for you.
Yeah.
And if you're like, hey, I live in a small town, I don't see a lot of people.
Oh, no.
I can't just create a downline. But then you think, I've already created a bunch of kids. Maybe I'll just use one of them. And that's what Olivia accused Kim of doing. So she says when Ethan's 16 or 17, Kim signs up Ethan as part of her downline for Young Living without his knowledge or consent. Now, this has been argued whether he knew about it, whether he didn't, whether he knew what was going on. Keep in mind, he doesn't even have access to a computer or account password. So like Kim's doing all this, right? So Kim sets up auto shipments of hygiene products for Ethan using his credit card, allegedly, which was saved on file. And again, allegedly, when Kim wasn't making enough money from Young Living, she started making large unauthorized purchases on Ethan's account to boost her bonuses and commissions.
Oh my gosh. Did he have a job? Like, did he have an income that was going into a bank account, or was she kind of like just circulating her own money around?
That good question. TBD.
Either way is stupid, but
yeah, they were all working pretty young. Like I'm sure he was definitely working car or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So this all happens off screen, really, but Olivia does take to TikTok to spell it all out, which was a good day for me. I really enjoyed that day. When confronted, though, Kim claims that she had a business arrangement with Ethan where she would pay back half of whatever she spent on his account. I'm wondering if the half is because, like, he got a commission. You know how, like, if you do we've both been in MLMs.
Yeah.
It's basically a 50% buy. Like, you basically make half or whatever. So I wonder if that's why it was half.
Okay, but let's talk about a business agreement with your teenage son. Like, it just feels like it's null and void immediately. Like, the minute those words come out of your mouth, it's like, it's over. It's not enforceable.
To be fair, I want to go into business with your son because he's that's an exception, right?
I was thinking that. I'm not in business with him technically yet. I am going to wait till he turns 20.
Okay, please do.
Then I will.
Well, Olivia finds all this out. She thinks this is wild. And so she sits down to calculate what Kim owes Ethan and finds out it's like $1,000. So it's not like crazy, but it's all unauthorized.
Enough for a young couple, that's a lot of money. That would make a difference, I'm sure, for them.
Absolutely. So instead of saying, whoops, let me make this right, allegedly, Kim and Barry tried to actually bully Olivia into giving them the new account password. So she must have been able to change the account password to like get access to it, and she would not give them the password, which good for Olivia.
I can't believe she wasn't like, you know what, you could use some lavender drops. Have you smelled lemongrass lately, Olivia?
I'm actually
calm down.
Fully surprised. Yeah. So Olivia doesn't give them that, and she wouldn't give it to them. It takes Kim and Barry 44 days to pay it back, but obviously they weren't happy about it because, of course, they don't think they did anything wrong or Kim did anything wrong. The wild thing about this is some of Ethan's siblings disputed what Olivia had to say, saying Olivia should have stayed out of it, claimed that this was this business arrangement that Olivia just didn't know anything about. They go so far, and this is Mariah, Micah, Lydia, and Isaac, as to publicly defend Kim and post an Instagram post. I'll read just a little bit of this like family announcement. We as a family have decided to not be divided anymore. There's a lot more to the story than what you've seen on TV. While we understand that this is a TV show, we are not in control how the show is edited. We are actually a family that is full of love and respect for each other. Emphasis mine. That being said, we as a family are not going to sit back and watch as our family is driven apart. For example, we wanted to clear up something that Olivia said during the last episode. What Olivia said about our mom using Ethan's credit card was not the full story. Mom and Ethan had a business agreement in which Ethan earned a good bit of money. And both parties, you're talking about your mom and your brother.
I know, this is so sad.
Both parties were aware of any transactions that were made. Our mom should have had the opportunity to defend herself and tell her side of the story. Some of us kids have been rebels and are finding our place in life and are very thankful to be supported and unconditionally loved by our family. Mariah, you got kicked out, no matter what choices we make or who we become.
Oh, they're being held at essential oil point. She's like, keep writing or I'm going to drip this in your eyeballs.
Please remember, we're human and we do make mistakes. Nobody's perfect and we continue to learn and grow with every day. Not one person is at fault. We've come to the realization that unless we speak up, this cycle will never end. We ask that you have compassion for us and understand that not everything you see on TV is as it actually is in real life.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for your continued support. Family first, with love from the Plath family.
Oh, was a lawyer involved in that?
Absolutely not. Did you hear anything I said?
Well, both parties. Like, who says that?
That's
about
somebody.
That's just so weird. I think it's like the mom wrote it or a lawyer advised them.
I swear, if they paid a lawyer for that, they need every penny back. That was absolutely wild. It reminds me of the letter from Jersey Shore. Dear Sam. Because they were like, call it, what did they say? Call it chest or call it breast? Yeah, breast instead of boobs or something. They were like trying to make themselves sound smart.
Right. Elevate it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But Rebekah, the post was a flop. I wish I could say it was a flip-flop just so this family could add one pair of shoes that any of them wore. So at this point, Kim's been called out. Ethan's probably under a car hood somewhere ignoring his wife, which is something he loved to do. He would literally leave for a few days, come back and be like, sorry, I went to Cairo to work on my car. And she's like, could you call me?
Annoying.
But that's not the crime, and neither is the lack of shoes in this family, although I cannot stop stating this as per my notes. The actual crime takes place in June of 2022. Would you like to know what that is?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, okay. This is post her separation from Barry. So Kim is involved in a car crash in Wakulla County, which one of my favorite places is Wakulla Springs. I love it, but it's like just another part of Florida. It's very rural. It's like another 45 minutes from Tallahassee, further south, like towards the coast. So Kim's car flips into a water-filled ditch. Yeah, like pretty decent wreck there, Shannon Bedore. And when the police arrive, they say she appeared to be intoxicated and smelled of alcohol.
Oh, shoot.
So Kim admits to having 2 margaritas before driving that night, and the officers said she seemed intoxicated. I don't know about the breathalyzer exactly, but they end up doing a blood test, and that takes a few months to come back, and it confirms that she had 0.008 was her blood alcohol level, which is twice the legal limit in Florida.
Oh,
yeah, those are 2 strong margaritas.
Yeah. Or 2 less than she had.
Exactly. She's like, oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was wrong. Kim was charged with DUI, property damage, as well as personal injury. So that was like 4 months later. That's when it actually came out, when she was actually charged with the DUI. A few months later, in March of 2023, Kim pleads no contest. She's found guilty and sentenced to 9 months of probation, 50 hours of community service, a $963 fine. And she was also required to complete a substance abuse evaluation and attend DUI school. The show, though, hasn't directly addressed the DUI, which feels like a big thing, right? Like,
yes. Well, Bravo likes to pick cameras up if there's a DUI.
I know. I'm wondering if TLC was like, if she's like, I will not do this show if you're going to do that, which... Yeah. I think she does have that kind of power for the show. She's one of the main people. Or if the whole family was like, we won't talk about it, you know?
I know. It just doesn't feel like you should get selective, permission when you sign up for something like that.
I'm actually super surprised. But yeah, they haven't directly addressed it on camera. But there's like a weird air about Kim now. She's
Okay.
very much this free bird. She's just living her best life. Her older kids are doing their own thing, and she's now like trying to join them. She meets Micah at one point to have like a drink with him. Like, it's
okay.
Now we're swinging back the other way of the pendulum, you know?
Yeah. Well, she tasted freedom like a bat out of hell, and she's like, I like it out here.
You put in Meatloaf in your car, and this is what happens. Barry was right. Barry was right. We were all wrong. But more recently, Kim has begun dating someone who the family knows quite well. And that's because it's Kim's uncle. I'm just kidding. It's not. No. I just wanted to go back to my flowers in the attic thing. I was getting weird again. Just kidding, but honestly, who knows? She actually began dating a guy named Ken, who happened to be Isaac, her son's pilot coach, pilot teacher. What would that be? Like aviation teacher?
Instructor.
Okay, thank you for the word instruction I could not come up with. So that makes it even weirder because like it's somebody they know and they're like friendly with. Lydia, not happy. And of course, the little kids are struggling as you'd expect, but Kim is living her best life. The sad thing is they still have these little ones who are homeschooled at home. Only Kim isn't at home. Would you like to know where Kim is at?
Hi guys, it's Kim Plath. Come on in and see my crib. Well, this is it. There's not much else to see. Okay, we got two beds here, kind of, if you move the pillows. One small bed right here. And this is where Mercy usually sleeps because she fits there better than anybody else. This is the galley, the kitchen, but if you're a boater, it's called a galley. Got a couple windows that open and let in the breeze. This is what I have for cooking. I have a toaster oven. I have a microwave. Then I do have a stove here. Stove is pretty cool. I only have one pot, so I just keep it right there. But this, you have to pull this, and then you can turn the stove on.
Why is her boat not named SS Bat Out of Hell?
Honestly, missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. And then I do have one more small clip that I think I have to put here because I need you to see the rage I felt with this woman and her boat, which we need to talk about the boat.
The bathroom is very small, but it gives us somewhat of, indoor plumbing. We really just use it to store our makeup and shower supplies and things like that. We can use it, but the bathrooms at the marina are so nice and big. Most of the time, we just grab our bags and walk over there.
She's barefoot. She does not have her shoes on there, Rebekah.
That's the headline crime.
I know.
Barefoot in a public bathroom in Florida? Bathroom. Sorry.
Listen, it adds an extra layer of maybe fungus to this whole story because what?
And I would say that if it was in New York City too.
Absolutely.
It's just some things are not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shoving all your kids into that boat isn't either. I love the part of, and here's two windows that open. Like, oh, okay, that all makes it just.
I did not realize that would be so important until you panically said that. It's so selfish. I find it so selfish that she's living in this boat.
Yeah.
So Captain Kim, the lady with a litter of children who are still being homeschooled, has chosen to live on a boat. The Moonglow is the name of it. And before you think it's too weird, apparently she grew up living on a sailboat. So she's like, I kind of came full circle, which I don't know if that's great, considering how you said you grew up.
Right.
But most people don't actually think she lives on this boat full time. They think she lives with Ken, which would make more sense.
Oh, and when she has the girls?
That's what I'm wondering. Like if
it's like a cost efficient way of like housing the girls when she has them.
Yeah, that. And also Barry probably doesn't want the kids around Ken, or, there's got to be some financial stuff going on with those two. And like she's wanting primary custody in a boat. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
But the crazy thing is Kim and Barry own a few rental properties, including the house I have marked on my Airbnb to stay at the next time I visit my parents.
What? Can I come?
No, you don't want to come. And I say that with love. It's like a snake pit. I keep looking. It's not expensive at all. But I definitely want to
so it's
stay.
not. Is it? It's not good.
No, it's like a swamp, but I'm going to do it for research.
Okay, well, I do want to come.
Okay, fine, you can come.
I feel left out.
Don't feel left out in a swamp. But my question is like, why isn't she staying at one of those places? Like, why did she use her money to buy a boat? But she also kind of says like, I don't want to depend on somebody else right now, which I understand that. I can understand that she's like, I think she lives with Ken, but I understand her saying, I don't want Ken to be the one who makes decisions for me.
Yeah.
After getting out of Berryville. But Rebekah, that's really the crime, the life of the Plaths. But if you're wanting to jump into this season, just to recap, we're introduced to Kim's boat life. Barry gets swole at the gym. Micah moves back to Florida and in with a girlfriend whose face she refuses to be seen, so she's a blurred face. Mariah gets access to her Spotify account and also gets more tattoos. And Olivia and Ethan finally get divorced.
That's where I jumped in and saw.
Hashtag
and she was
Olivia.
Was she in LA for a minute?
Probably. She actually is a photographer and really, really good. And so she did a lot of traveling around with it.
Yeah, she was with this other very cute girl with a nice face and profile.
Her sister.
In LA. Her sister, yes, it was her sister. And they were getting green juices and going out, like, first time going out single together. And
yeah,
I don't know. I think Olivia seems like she's got a great head on her shoulders.
I agree with you. I think the best thing she did was get out of that family because they were never going to fully accept her. Ethan, so it seemed like, I will say, that Ethan seemed to kind of like go along with her and he wanted to make some changes and stuff, but either she was doing it at a speed he wasn't ready to do it at, or he's just like, this is who I am and I'm not going to change. And so that obviously isn't going to work. And he's terrible at communicating.
Until he does that work for himself and not just for his wife, it won't hold. It won't last. And so that's probably part of the reason. I think you're right about the pace. I think she was probably moving it along and like it was hard for him to keep up. That's sad. That's too bad. But they're very young and they didn't have kids. I don't know. They'll both be okay.
Well, he did also tell her, if I was going to have kids, I don't think it'd be with you. I'm like, I don't think you can say that when you're already married to the person. Like, what benefit is that going to be? Because I think she was just choosing to live in a different way and stuff. And he just was like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, a super restricted, high control household like rarely ends well. Like, spoiler alert.
I know.
Here we are again.
But I will say, I think Kim is... I want to like her. I feel bad. She's had a lot of trauma in her life. She actually lost a kid early on, like ran over... like one of those kind of like terrible freak accident things that are just, how do you move past that? So I think she's got a lot of stuff that she's dealt with, but it's so hard for me to see her. Like, I get her wanting to live this life and like be free, but like you do have these small kids and like maybe you could just wait until they get a little old, just for them. Like, you're
100%. Yeah, no, it's very selfish. This seems terrible for the girls.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know.
Like, if there was any fun in it, you know, the novelty is probably worn off.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And all those girls are like they're like 11, 13, and 15, I think. So they're all teenagers. They need their own space. And I don't know, Kim. So anyway.
Weird family, weird show.
It is. I don't recommend at all.
It was boring when I watched, for sure. But in that weird, like, strange, couldn't stop watching way, like so much pale faces and blonde hair. Like, it's weird. Yeah. And I say it as a pale person, not with blonde hair, but light eyes.
Yeah. Well,
I'm curious if our listeners watch it. Like,
a lot of people
about the show a lot. So I'm curious, like, I want to know, like, are people watching? Have they watched the whole way?
Yeah. Let us know. If you want to know about places in Tallahassee to avoid the Plaths, I can help you with that. But besides that,
you are our Florida,
and I'm especially the
expert in residence
and that area. I decided after I finished watching this, don't watch this. I would never ask you to watch this, but I still want you to watch Darcy and Stacy. I feel like that's more relatable because it's like Connecticut and New York, and you love Darcy.
That's true. I do.
I'm just back on that. Sorry, I don't know why it popped in my head earlier.
No, I will. Yeah, let me go back to that.
Lies.
They freak me out whenever you send me like a recent TikTok. It's just a little jarring. but I can get over that.
Yeah, but the rest, them on TV is just, it's so
gold.
good. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rebekah, I would like to know, we've talked a lot about things we've watched, but I would like to know if there's something else you're watching or something that you've even told me in the past 5 to 6 weeks.
We talked about Presumed Innocent. Was it on here?
Mm-mm. I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's not my show, but we both watched that.
Yes.
And that was so good.
It was so good.
Didn't love the ending.
No, it wasn't as bad as The Undoing. Was that the one with Nicole Kidman and
with Nicole Kidman,
with her jackets?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the jackets. Yeah,
it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that far off.
It really diminished the show, but not the whole show, but the last episode. But I thought it was so good. But you know what I just learned is that Jake Gyllenhaal is legally blind.
I had no idea.
My mom told me that. I didn't fact check her. We should.
I like how immediately you're like, now that I think about it.
That you didn't know that makes me very skeptical.
I know his brother-in-law's in the show. I know.
Yes.
A bunch of random stuff. Let's look it up. I'll look it up.
Speaking of famous brothers, I think I saw a Culkin.
Where?
In Connecticut.
Really?
This past weekend. I think. Which one's in Succession?
Not Rory. Kieran.
I feel like I saw him, but
really?
I can't be sure.
Also, well, that's very cool. Justice for your mom because he is legally blind.
Oh, Barbara saves the day.
Good job, Barbara.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. And I was like, well, that just makes his performance even more interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So my show.
Yes.
I did watch something. I watched one episode of it today because it came out today. There's a clue.
Okay.
You're going to get it because it's impossible to find unique clues for it. So Netflix, of this genre, my favorite, that's a clue, UK.
Love is Blind UK?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I just watched one because I'm scheduled to watch it with my daughter later. But I had to have something to share with you. Yeah. And it's great.
Really?
A great start. The hosts are likable. It's not the Lachey's. It's a British couple who are like in a lot of TV shows and reality shows over there and like
helpful.
They just seem a lot more normal and just, I don't know. They're not like as try hard.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone I've seen so far has been like very, funny and good looking. I mean, those Brits, the sense of humor is like so much better than most people. So they're just excelling. And the first episode leaves on a major cliffhanger with one couple. Mm-hmm. So highly recommend because so many of the spin-offs have been in languages that aren't English and they're very hard to follow. I think it's such a like conversation driven show. Mm-hmm. Not seeing it in English is hard.
Yeah.
So it's just so fun to have one that's not American but is I can understand. Yeah, so it's good.
Okay, I love that because I loved I got into Traders and I got into every iteration, New Zealand, Australia, all of them. And I loved it. And so I wasn't actually planning on watching Love is Blind UK though, but now
I think you will enjoy it.
Okay.
I think you will. And there's just a Love is Blind hole in my heart. Like I love Love is Blind.
Right.
I really, really love it. Mm-hmm. Even when it's at its worst, I love it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Okay. So I'm excited. Yes.
Oh, good.
It took me a while to remember, and that's really unfortunate. Jonas Brothers, which is not something you'll normally hear me say.
No.
Hulu/ABC also say it's a reality show. Celebrities, sort of.
Oh, man. I feel like, I don't know.
Claim to
fame.
Fame. Yes, that's it. Claim to fame.
One of them talked about this on Armchair Expert, or someone that one of them is married to talked about it on Armchair Expert. And sorry, I didn't remember the name. Tell me the premise.
Okay, premise is celebrity cousins, brothers, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all in a house. Joe Jonas, Nick. It's not Nick Jonas. It's one of the Jonas brothers, and then Frankie, another Jonas brother that you probably wouldn't know. They are the host and actually are really great. But it's all these different people, all these different celebrity adjacent people, relatives in this house. They have to give 3 clues to start off with. 2 truths and a lie, basically. So they'll say, my celebrity's my uncle, he won a Grammy, and he's from Canada or whatever.
Okay.
One of those is a lie, but 2 of them are true. So as it goes on, you get more clues, and there's different competitions where you can learn other people's clues. So basically, at the end of every week, 2 people go up, and one person goes up, and they have to guess. They have to pull somebody out and guess who their celebrity relative is.
Okay.
Would you like me to tell you who the relatives have been on this season so far?
Yeah. That's
and
so
they have like a clue wall. And also, if you are on Date with Dateline's Patreon, if not, you should join it. But I've been on their show like a couple times now every Thursday to recap it because it's really, really fun.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know you were doing that.
I know.
Surprise.
I know. And Kim from People Are Wild. So we're doing that, and it's a lot of fun. I know. So, okay, here are some of the people that have been on.
Yeah.
John Cryer, well, his cousin or something. Molly Ringwald, which ended up being cool that they're...
Was it her daughter?
It was her cousin.
Okay.
Wouldn't have guessed it. Oh, I'll save that one for last. John Stamos.
Okay.
And then Jamie Lee Curtis's nephew.
Cool.
Yeah. So... It's
really fun.
It is. And like they'll lie and say like, oh, my name is this. And it's not really that. Like you can lie about whatever you want to except for those first clues or whatever.
Yeah.
Super fun. So like still trying to figure out people's clues. There's like a clue wall. So like all of us have like a list of the things we think it could be. I think I know who one girl's uncle or somebody is. So it's fun to play along. I don't care to see spoilers. Don't give me spoilers. Because it's just so fun like week to week. So
to be in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a fun one to start.
That does seem like fun. I do think I would like that.
You and your daughter would like it.
Sounds like a guessing game I actually might have a chance of like getting.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. Last season, I think they had somebody from the Rat Pack. Like it's kind of all different generations and stuff, which is really cool.
That's super fun.
Yeah.
I like it. Do you want me to do the next story?
I would love it if you did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a few clues. These were hard to pick out.
Okay.
We'll see. Pizza.
Okay.
Vanessa.
Okay.
Warrior.
Warrior is the last word?
Mm-hmm.
WARRIER, not, or IOR, not.
Oh.
Not warrior like WO Melissa.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like fighter.
Correct.
Okay.
We're warriors. This is a warrior.
Okay.
What we are not.
Okay. Warrior, Vanessa, pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got to think about this. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Good.
though.
Good. Yeah. I'm really excited and just so good to be back.
I know. Love hanging out with you. Love sharing dumb stories with you about fun people who are idiots and make bad life choices.
Yeah. I definitely won't go seeking the Plaths, but again, when it's on and I'm scrolling around, I'm going to stop and just get little snippets because now I understand the parents' dynamic and the family relationship more. So I'm even a little more intrigued.
Yeah.
But, not going to go out of my way.
No, don't.
But and if it's there, I'm going to watch.
Yeah. It's been one of those that's been on. I've watched every season, but like I can kind of take it or leave it at times. But then something happens and you're like, I got to see what happens. So
Right. Of course.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll do this again in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody, for tuning back in. And, we updated our website. So criminalityshow.com has all our recent episodes and also what we're watching that we say.
Yes.
I actually updated that too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So if you want to know like all our TV recommendations from over across all episodes, starting with first, you can go back and see that.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's fun. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's it.
Great work, Rebekah. And let's do this again in 2 weeks.
Sounds like a plan.
Bye.
Bye.